tonight, a $30 million math mistake has Nebraska rethinking how it funds schools. Last month, several schools found out they were either overpaid or underpaid in state aid. First Alert 6's Andrew Pfeiffer joins us live in the studio. Andrew, how does the department plan to change this formula?
Well, Brian, as we previously reported, an error in the department's funding formula paid Omaha Public Schools $30 million too much. I spoke with the state's education commissioner today, who tells me they are working diligently so that mistakes like this will not happen again. The department has taken a three-phase approach in deciding how to handle available funds. Phase 1 has already been completed. Since August, the department has studied the current problems with the funding formula. They also took a look back into the history of how schools have been funded. Phase 2, which begins in 2026, will create a completely new formula. This will decide the ideal split between state and local funding for public schools. The third phase will help implement this plan into legislature and monitor that plan if it gets approved. Brian Maher is the commissioner of the Nebraska Department of Education. 18 members have been studying the issues. He says phase 2 will have the biggest impact going forward.
2, I think, is where you'll see some action, some real recommendations, some cussing and discussing by members of the commission done during that next year. And then phase 3 will be how do we manage the new school funding formula going forward.
Maher says they have done the preliminary work and set the stage for what is to be done next year. He also mentions the department will try to keep property taxes the same. The plan is set, yet this still leaves OPS having to pay back over $30 million in money given to them by mistake, which they already spent or earmarked in this year's budget. We'll have more developments as they unfold over the next year. Reporting live in the studio, Andrew Pfeiffer, First Alert 6.
Andrew, thanks. Big problem.